It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so the latest and greatest when it comes to one of the brightest prospects in British boxing and one of the brightest prospects in the entire heavyweight division, Moses Itauma. You know, I like this young man, Moses Itauma. He seems to have a good head on his shoulders, very strong, very good speed, very good power, and just a huge ceiling in the pros. I think he's got a big ceiling in the pros as a top heavyweight down the line. When we talk about the future of the heavyweight division, you know, I'm talking 5 to 7 years from now. This kid has to be towards the top of the list, you know, as far as heavyweights around the world, who I think will be a big factor in boxing down the line. But, you know, he had an interesting article that posted on Boxing Scene recently where he basically was talking about some advice that Mike Tyson gave him. And then he also talked about his ambitions to fight for the British title in his next fight, because there is a British heavyweight title fight coming up next. And, you know, right now, Itama's only 7 fights into his career. He's only been pro for about a year. But we'll start with what Mike Tyson told him, because this is what Mike Tyson told him. He stated the following about Mike Tyson. He stated the following, and I quote, "I've got huge respect for Mike Tyson for what he's achieved in his career, and I listened to what he had to say to me. He told me that I can learn from every fight, even the losses. Hopefully there won't be any of those, but I appreciated his advice. He told me not to underestimate any of my opponents." So, you know, pretty standard advice. Nothing too out the blue there, but sometimes sometimes the simple things need to be reemphasized, because when you're as talented as Moses at that age, you can have a tendency to overlook overmatched opponents, which at this point in his career, those are the kind of guys who are going to fight overmatched opposition. So I think it's sound advice from a guy who walked his shoes. And, you know, Moses has stated on many occasions that he's trying to break Mike Tyson's record for being the youngest heavyweight champion ever. And, you know, Mike Tyson was 20 years old when he beat Trevor Berbick to capture the WBC heavyweight title back in 1985. Moses is 19, and obviously there's a lot of external factors that could hinder him from doing that, because, you know, Fury and Usyk got to fight for the belts, and then I'm not even sure he's ranked yet. So he may not be. I personally don't think he's going to break the record, but I think by the time he's 22 or 23, he should actually be right there in the mix, because I think they're going to move him quickly and swiftly at Queensberry Promotions. Now, if he wants to move in that direction to become champion, he's going to have to do what all the British fighters do, which is, you know, win those titles domestically. And so, yeah, like I was saying, if Moses wants to move in the direction of becoming heavyweight champion, he has to win those titles domestically. And there is a very notable domestic heavyweight title fight coming up in the UK. It'll feature David Adeleye, who recently lost to Fabio Wardley, and he'll be taking on Solomon Dacres for the English heavyweight title. Now, the English title, you know, just for those that don't know about how the British title hierarchy works, the English title is probably one of the first ones you can win, because it's like you got southern areas like the first one you can win, and then it goes English, right? So that would be good for him. And, you know, Dacres and Adeleye, more so Adeley's boxed at a higher level than Dacres. Dacres is a guy that domestically in the UK, I know that Moses wants to fight him. You know, I've heard his name brought up in interviews that Moses has done a couple times. There seems to be some sort of disdain there for Solomon, but I don't know why Moses dislikes Solomon so much. He wouldn't specify. But I am familiar with Solomon. I never talked about him on video, but I am familiar with him because I know that I believe he's from like the Birmingham area, like the middle part of the UK. And I remember when I went to the UK in 2019, and I went to go visit Calify and the Fies at their gym in Birmingham. Around that time, Rob McCracken's brother Max, shout out to Max McCracken, wherever he's at in the world, Max McCracken had turned him pro around that time. I remember seeing him on Instagram at that time. So he's been, you know, building his way up the ranks, and, you know, he's stepping up to David Adeleye. So Moses wants the winner of this fight, and I think ideally, if you're Moses Itauma, that's got to be your first, you know, proper, legitimate step-up fight. You know, the kind of step-up fight that all British fighters have, because every British fighter always has that first step up domestically where they fight for the British title or the English title, and they headline on, you know, whether it be Sky Sports or BT Sport or whatever the network may be. You just always have those early tests. So I think right now he's at that stage now where he's fought the Uber drivers and the bowling pins and the cannon fodder opposition, and now it's time to start to step up to more of like the notable domestic level names in the UK. So he's targeting that belt. Here's what Moses said about that, actually. He has quotes about Solomon Dacres versus David Adeleye. He stated the following, and I quote, "I'm not too bothered. Obviously, I was the mandatory for Solomon Dacres' belt. They didn't take the fight. I would have loved to have fought him. He didn't want that fight for whatever reason. He's got to fight Adeleye now anyway, but we'll see what happens after that. I think Adeleye is a good fighter. I think Dacres should be the better fighter. He's been boxing a lot longer than Adeleye. I'm intrigued to see how that goes. Maybe I'll get the winner, and maybe I won't. I'll leave that to my manager. But at the end of the day, I don't care who gets put in front of me. The result will be the same, and I hope it's one of them." So very, very just clear, concise, tactful words from the young prospect. And yeah, he was mandatory for Solomon's belt. They didn't take the fight. Maybe they didn't think they could win, or the money was right. Who knows? But that's the I believe that'll be the next step for Moses Itauma as he progresses his career. So that's my thoughts on Moses Itauma. You know, his thought. You know, Mike Tyson giving him advice. Him targeting the winner of an English title fight. You know, one of the premier prospects in heavyweight boxing. If you don't know the young man, definitely get to know him. Good fighter with a high ceiling. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dang It. So until next time, take care. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.